I'm gonna say something that's gonna upset some of you, so let me just get it out of the way. Helping your family can keep you broke? I know how that sounds. Hear me out. Because I'm not saying don't love your family. What I'm saying is, if you're the one who made it, the one with the stable job, the steady income, the LinkedIn title that impressed your mom, your paycheck has probably stopped being your paycheck, and you didn't even notice when it happened. Your raise became somebody else's relief. Your bonus became somebody else's emergency plan. Your savings became proof that you can help. And little by little, you stopped being a person earning money, and you became something else. You became the family's financial system, the bailout, the cushion, the retirement plan for people who never built one. And if you don't put limits on that, and most people don't, because nobody taught us how you won't build wealth, you'll just become the most responsible broke person in your family. That's the trap. And it shows up in 5 specific ways. Once you can name them, you can stop them. Start with the endless emergency. This one has a face. His name is Marcus, 34 years old, first person in his family with a corporate job. On paper, he's winning. Solid salary, decent apartment, nice title. Family's proud of him. But every month, before Marcus invests a single dollar, before the emergency fund, before the down payment, before any plan for his own future money leaves, $400 for his mom's rent, $250 because his brother's car broke down again, $600 because somebody's behind on a bill, and nobody calls it a big deal, because Marcus is the one who made it. Marcus is fine. Marcus can handle it. But Marcus didn't make it. Marcus became the shock absorber. From the outside, the family looks stable, and that's because Marcus is quietly absorbing every hit nobody else can take. 10 years pass like this. Marcus's income tripled, his net worth barely moved, and nobody, including Marcus, really understands why. Here's the test you need from this one. If the same emergency keeps happening every 3 months, it's not an emergency anymore. It's a pattern, and patterns don't get fixed with money. They get worse with money. Then there's the success penalty. This one starts the day you became successful. That's the day the math in your family changed. You got the good job, so you should pay. You don't have kids yet, so you can help. You make more, so it shouldn't hurt you. The same logic that would never apply to anybody else suddenly applies to you. Your cousin who works retail doesn't have to host Thanksgiving. You do. Your sister who barely covers rent doesn't have to chip in for the funeral. You do. The aunt who never offered to help anybody is now suggesting you help her with the property tax. You got promoted at work, and somewhere in the background, you also got promoted in the family. Except this promotion came with no contract, no raise, and no exit. And here's what nobody says out loud. The fact that you can technically afford something is not the same thing as the fact that you should be paying for it. Making more money does not give other people the right to make plans with your income. That math doesn't work. Not for them. Not for anybody. Then there's guilt payments. This one isn't really about money at all. That's why it's the hardest one to stop. This one has a face too. Danielle, 31, project manager, oldest daughter. Danielle grew up watching her mother struggle, watching her mother sacrifice, watching her mother make it work somehow even when there was nothing to work with. So now when her family calls, Danielle doesn't just hear a request for money. She hears every sacrifice her mother made. She hears, "Don't forget where you came from." She hears, "Family takes care of family." She hears her own childhood. So she says yes, again, and again, and again. Because saying no doesn't feel like saying no to a transaction. It feels like saying no to everything her mother fought for. But Danielle has her own kid now, her own rent, her own future to build. And somewhere around 31, she's starting to feel something painful she doesn't want to say out loud. If she keeps rescuing everyone, she may not have anything left for the family she's creating, the one in front of her, not behind her. That's the part nobody talks about. This problem isn't just financial, it's emotional, it's identity. It's love and obligation and guilt and history, all tangled up in a number that leaves your checking account every month. That's why just say no doesn't work as advice. We're not talking about logic. We're talking about a feeling that goes back 20, 30, 40 years. Guilt is not a financial plan. Guilt has bankrupted more responsible people than any addiction ever did. And here's what I want you to hear. You are allowed to love your family with your whole heart and still protect your own future. Those two things are not in conflict. The people telling you they are, they're usually the ones benefiting from you believing it. I'm gonna stop right here for a second, because I know this part hit somebody. If Danielle's story is your story, if you're the responsible one in your family, the person who always covers, always shows up, always figures it out, comment that for me. Just 3 words. The responsible one. I want to see how many of us there are, and I want you to see it too, because sometimes we think this is just us, and it isn't. Scroll the comments after you finish the video. You'll see what I mean. Then there's lifestyle subsidy. This one's gonna make some of you mad. I'm gonna say it anyway. Sometimes you're not helping somebody survive, you're funding their refusal to change. If somebody in your life keeps making the same decisions over and over because they know you'll cover the gap you stopped helping a long time ago, you're paying for the behavior to continue. That's a completely different thing. And this one has a face too. Kevin. Kevin didn't even send money at first. Kevin just co-signed. His sister needed a car, couldn't get approved on her own. Kevin felt bad. Kevin signed. 6 months later, she stops paying. Kevin's credit takes the hit. Every dollar he was supposed to be saving for himself starts getting eaten by a car he doesn't even drive. His sister's bad decision just became his 5-year problem. So take this one seriously. Don't co-sign. I don't care how good the reason is. I don't care how much they swear they'll pay. Co-signing isn't help. It's putting your future on the line for somebody else's decision. If you wouldn't be okay paying the entire debt yourself, and you wouldn't, don't sign. There are 100 ways to help that don't end with a hit to your credit score. Pick any of them. And the last one, the silent wealth delay. Most dangerous of all because nobody can see it. Not even you, until it's too late. This is Anthony, early 40s. He spent his 20s and 30s just trying to catch up. Student loans, rent, career changes, inflation, the whole thing. Now, just when he finally starts making enough to breathe, his parents are aging. One still works, the other needs monthly help. They don't have enough retirement saved. So Anthony quietly adds them to his budget. Not as a gift, not as a one-time emergency, as a bill, a recurring bill, the same way you'd add a phone plan. And one day, sitting at his kitchen table, it hits him. I'm trying to build my retirement while funding the retirement my parents never got to build. That's the silent wealth delay. You don't go bankrupt. You don't miss a bill. You don't look broke from outside. You just delay. You delay investing. You delay buying the house. You delay starting the business. You delay your emergency fund. You delay your life by 5 years, by 10, by 15. And by the time you realize what happened, the compounding you missed is gone. You can't redo those years. This hits especially hard for first-generation earners. People whose families never had the cushions other families take for granted. No home equity, no inheritance coming, no parent who can chip in for a down payment, no grandfather with a pension. And when a family doesn't have those cushions, the cushion becomes a person. The person is you. That's the heaviest sentence in this whole video, so I'm gonna say it once more. When families don't have assets, emergencies get absorbed by people. And the person doing the absorbing usually doesn't realize what it cost until they're 45, look at their account, and wonder where the hell 10 years of good income went. Alright, 5 types. You probably saw yourself in at least one, maybe in all 5. That's normal. Most successful first-generation earners are paying all 5 at the same time without knowing it. Now the hard part. If you keep rescuing grown adults from the consequences of their own decisions over and over and over, at some point you're not helping anymore. You're teaching them that your boundaries don't exist. And if your boundaries don't exist, your wealth won't exist either. Those are the same sentence. I'm not saying stop helping. I'm saying that unlimited helping isn't help. It's a system. And the system has a cost. And the cost is your future. Nobody's going to refund that to you when you turn 60 and realize you spent your prime earning years funding everybody else's plan and never built one of your own. So here's what you actually do. You don't quit helping. You stop helping randomly. Family support has to stop being a panic button and become a line item. It lives in your budget like rent lives in your budget. You decide the number when you're calm, not at 9 at night on the phone with somebody crying. Pick a number, not a feeling, not whatever they asked for, not whatever guilt says. A number. Maybe it's $100 a month. Maybe it's 500. Maybe it's 1,000. Doesn't matter what the number is. What matters is that there is one. And when it's gone for the month, it's gone. Not let me check my account. Not, well, just this once. Gone. But here's the rule that comes before that one. Before you help past your normal amount, Your own base has to be locked down, your rent paid, your emergency fund built. Your 401k, at least getting the match, that's free money you cannot leave on the table no matter what's happening in the family group chat. Your high-interest debt under control. Because if you go broke trying to save everybody, you don't become a hero. You become the next person who needs rescuing, and there's nobody left to do it. And when you do help, try not to just send cash. Pay the bill directly. Buy the groceries directly. Help set up the payment plan. Help make the phone call. If you're serious about helping, the goal isn't to make the pain disappear today. It's to make it less likely the same pain shows up next month. Cash makes the pain quiet for a week. That's not the same as fixing it. The last piece is language, because the hardest part of all of this isn't the math. The math is easy. The hardest part is the conversation. So steal these sentences. Use them word for word if you need to. I can help with 300, but I can't do more than that. That's a real sentence. It works. You don't have to explain it. I love you, but I can't keep being the emergency plan. That one stings, but it's honest. And honest is what they need to hear. I can help this time, but next time we have to figure out a plan before it becomes a crisis. That sentence puts the burden where it belongs, on solving the actual problem, not on you funding it forever. I'm building stability too, and I can't keep starting over. And the one I want you to remember when somebody calls and you feel that knot in your chest, I'm not saying no, because I don't care. I'm saying no, because I'm trying to build something that lasts. A boundary isn't betrayal. It's how you make sure your help can keep going without destroying you. The version of you that has nothing left can't help anybody, and you burning out doesn't save the people you were trying to protect. It just adds your name to the list. The real question here isn't family or future. It never was. The real question is, can you help your family in a way that doesn't quietly destroy the future you're trying to build? Because if you go broke helping everybody, you don't become the legend of the family. You become the next person who needs rescuing. And then, nobody got helped. That's not legacy. Legacy isn't sending every dollar back until you have nothing left to pass on. Legacy is building enough stability that the next generation doesn't have to start from zero. That your kid doesn't have to be the shock absorber. That the cycle finally stops with you. You can love your family and still protect your future. Those aren't enemies. They never were. The world made it sound like they were, and you believed it for a long time, and that belief has been costing you. So help. Just help with a system instead of a panic button. Help with a number you decided in advance. Help in a way that doesn't quietly end with you being the next person who needs help. Now go check your numbers. And one last thing before you go. I want to hear from you. Not just the responsible one. I mean a real story. If you saw yourself in one of these stories, Marcus, Danielle, Kevin, Anthony, or all four at once, tell me which one is yours, and tell me what it's already cost you. The house you didn't buy, the savings you don't have, the retirement you keep pushing back, the sleep you don't get, whatever it is, drop it in the comments. I read them. And here's the thing, somebody's gonna scroll those comments next week, alone, wondering if anyone else lives like this. Your story might be the one that shows them they're not crazy. They're not selfish. They're not the only one. You could be that for somebody. So tell it.